I'm Harrison Graham. The Chicago Bears have made a roster move, plus worked out 8 defensive backs. We're going to talk about that off the top here, and we're going to take a look at some updates on these position battles. We did a preview before training camp started and took a look at some position battles, and kind of want to check the temperature and where things sit on 5 of those battles. So we'll get to that toward the end of the show as well. Bears PR tweeted it a little bit ago. This was reported by CBS on Saturday night that the Bears were expected to sign running back Brittain Brown. He was one of 4 runners that worked out for the team on Saturday. They have now made that official. They have waived defensive back Ameer Speed with an injury designation. So he is off the 91-man roster. If you're unfamiliar with Brittain Brown, a little bit about his background. He was a 3-star recruit from Georgia back in the mid-2010s. Played 3 years at Duke from 2017 to 19. Transferred to UCLA and had 2 pretty solid seasons there. Was a 7th-round pick with the Raiders in 2022. Played, I think, made the team, was on the roster for some of his rookie season, played in 6 games, and then in 2023 got hurt, so was on IR. Seahawks picked him up last year. He was on their practice squad for most of that year. I mentioned in 2022, played in 6 games, but recorded 0 stats. He's never had a carry in the NFL. In those 6 games, I think he only played on special teams without recording a stat, so has not done literally has not done anything in the NFL. Now, he was a pretty productive college player, just over 400 carries, well over 5 yards per carry with 2,200 plus yards, had 41 catches as well, 23 total touchdowns. I mentioned Seahawks practice squad last year. I think the connection there is Zach Charbonnet, because they were part of a 1-2 punch at UCLA, I think in that 2021 season, maybe 22 as well. I'd have to go back and check. But there was an overlap there in one of the years. They were the 1-2 punch, and they were a pretty effective combo playing under Chip Kelly in that offense. So good productive college player that, for whatever reason, hasn't translated to the NFL. So you add him to the mix. Obviously, Roschon Johnson's been banged up. Kyle Monangai, who I think is going to be officially RB2 pretty soon, is moving up the ranks. Travis Homer tweaked his calf in that game yesterday as well, so they probably just needed to add a running back regardless. And now Brittain Brown is in the fold. I do wonder if something is up with Roschon Johnson. Is that a signal that Roschon's foot injury could linger? Because remember, this isn't necessarily a response to Travis Homer getting injured yesterday, because this was reported Saturday night, and they worked out running backs on Saturday. The Homer thing didn't happen until yesterday, so they were adding a running back regardless. And 3 of the 4 running backs that worked out were bigger physical backs, including Brittain Brown. Well, Roschon Johnson is your bigger physical back. That's kind of his role on this team. So I do wonder if something could linger with Roschon's foot injury, or if something more is going on. So just keep an eye on that as we progress throughout training camp. This is why you subscribe to the channel. When news drops, big or small, we cover it for you. Give my take, give my analysis for you guys. So hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. That way you never, ever miss a video here on Chicago Bears Now. Cullen, before we get to the position battle updates, let's talk about the guys that the Bears worked out today, because they're getting a little beat up at defensive back. Brad Biggs had the note that they worked out 8 DBs. Kalen Barnes, who, if you remember, ran like a 4.25 in the 40 a few years back, but has not really stuck in the NFL. Millard Bradford, Mekhi Garner, Caleb Hayes, Kenny Lonely, Mark Perry, Benny Sapp, and then Jason Taylor. And you think about the injuries in the secondary. Major Burns injured his knee yesterday. Unclear how long he's out. Terell Smith with the groin. Jaylon Johnson and Kyler Gordon are already out. They just cut Ameer Speed with an injury designation. That's 5 guys right there. Zah Frazier has been out all of training camp with personal reasons. And Nick McLeod, who had been there throughout camp, wasn't to be seen during joint practices and did against Miami and did not play in the game on Sunday. So I don't know if something's going on with him now. So they're probably going to have to sign at least 1 DB, if not 2, just to help get through camp here. So you don't work out 8 defensive backs unless you're thinking about adding 1 or 2. So be on the lookout for that. If they sign someone, we'll have it covered. Okay, let's get to some position battle updates. The left tackle competition. which started with 3 guys, Karan Amagaji being in there along with Braxton Jones and Ozzie Trapillo. It appears to be down to 2, but Declan Doyle said today that I still think that battle's wide open. Now, he said there's been things where people are starting to separate, but I thought yesterday Ozzie Trapillo was slightly better overall. He was definitely better in pass protection. Braxton Jones graded out better. This is per PFF. In run blocking, which isn't a surprise. I do think Braxton's a better run blocker at this stage, but I think Trapillo is and definitely profiles to be a better pass protector, and that is something Ben Johnson has consistently said. We need our offensive tackles to be able to pass protect one-on-one, and I think at times Braxton struggles with that, whereas Ozzie gives you a better chance in that regard. I also think that no one's exactly running away with this job. Now, is that something to be concerned about? Does that mean that it's been a good, healthy, competitive competition between these guys? Or is it they're kind of all underwhelming and eventually they're just going to have to pick someone? Now, there's still a lot of time. It's not like they're playing a game tomorrow, but I do think it's safe to say that out of the 5 starters in the offensive line, left tackle is going to be the big question mark, regardless of who they pick, and that's obviously a big position. The good news is, whoever it is going to be playing next to Joe Thuney. That should help quite a bit. So my gut still tells me Ozzie's going to be the guy, especially Braxton not really capitalizing on the opportunity to get the first 3 series yesterday. I thought he was pretty average at best, if not below average. So in the end, I do think it'll be Ozzie Trapillo. What say you? Who do you think wins the left tackle job? BJ for Braxton Jones, or you can type OT for Ozzie Trapillo. Whoever it is going to be protecting this man, Caleb Williams. If you want to get a Caleb Williams jersey for only $100, chatsports.com/Caleb jersey. That is the place to get it, chatsports.com/Caleb jersey. Link is in the comments and description. Click and shop today and get yourself a jersey. All right. That CB2 spot, that second outside corner, obviously Jaylon Johnson's your CB1, Kyler Gordon's your nickel. Nahshon Wright, who's been turning heads during training camp in limited snaps, did not perform very well. Got beat multiple times, gave up a 4th down completion on that opening drive when Tua and the starters were out there to extend the chains. And you could say, sure, the Bears played mostly 2s on defense. The Dolphins had some of their starters out there. It wasn't Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle. It was Malik Washington. Like, that's an opportunity if you're Nahshon Wright on 4th down to play sticky coverage and not give up that completion. He did. Meanwhile, on the other side, Tyreek Stevenson wasn't targeted a single time. So that feels like a win for Reek. I expect him to be the starter. I still think Nahshon Wright's had a good camp. I think he's going to be on this football team, especially given all the injuries. But if you ask me today, who do you think CB2 is? I think it's going to be this man, Tyreek Stevenson. Okay, backup quarterback. And it's been, I would say, somewhat unclear how real of a competition this is. I do think it is one because throughout camp they've been alternating a decent amount between the 2s and the 3s, but Tyson Bagent was listed as the QB2. He started and played the entire first half. Maybe that changes for preseason week number 2. We'll see. All of that being said, though, Case Keenum has a lot of experience in Detroit. They liked having a veteran backup. That's why they signed Teddy Bridgewater late last season to bring him back, because they probably felt more comfortable with him in a playoff game than Hendon Hooker. And Case Keenum has played a lot of ball, and I thought he played a little bit better yesterday than Tyson Bagent. I'd still lean Bagent. Like, who would I prefer to be the backup and put out in a real game if there's an injury to Caleb Williams? But it's pretty close. Like, you could talk me into Case Keenum pretty easily. If you're asking me who do I trust to just operate the offense, probably pick Case. If you're asking me who do I think gives you the better chance to make big plays, I'd probably say Tyson. So it's going to come down to what they value more. But I do think both guys will be on the team. But it's still important to figure out who the true backup is in case there is an injury. I want to hear from you guys. If Caleb were to get hurt, who would you trust more to win a game? Go out there, win a game. TB for Tyson Bagent, CK for Case Keenum. When I angle it that way, like I could come to a Case Keenum conclusion, but I also want to invest more in Tyson Bagent, so it's a tough call. You guys let me know. TB for Bagent, CK for Keenum. All right, third linebacker, and early last week before the preseason opener against Miami, you were starting to hear whispers and reports that Noah Sewell's had a pretty good camp, and he's been that third guy after TJ Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds. And I think that's the case, and I think we saw that in the game. He made multiple splash plays. The fourth down stop, he had a peanut punch, forced fumble that wasn't recovered, but still created an opportunity for the Bears defense to get a takeaway. Was in the backfield a couple of times. Ruben Hippolyte had one TFL, I think, but I think he's still kind of running with the chicken with his head cut off. He's kind of figuring things out a little bit. So I do think Noah Sewell is likely going to be that guy. I do think he is separated past the Ruben Hippolytes and the Amin Agbabamigas at this point in time. And then, of course, that second running back, Roschon, Kyle Monangai, Travis Homer, Ian Wheeler, who's it going to be? I think it's going to be Kyle Monangai. I think it's going to be the rookie out of Rutgers. Thought he had a couple of really nice runs against Miami. 6 carries, 30 yards. Needs to show more from a pass protection standpoint. Had one rep that was pretty ugly, and that's an area that he was good at in college. But you're going up against NFL bodies now. It's not the same deal, so he'll have to clean that up. But thought he showed good vision, patience. The contact balance is there. All the things that he profiled as a runner coming out of college, I thought were on display. That 3rd and 2 run inside the 10 doesn't seem like much, but a lot of guys would just try and ram that up the middle, just get the 2 ugly yards. He let that develop. He let the hole get created, and then he cut and hit it hard and converted and got a first down. You can tell that he's a smart player and he understands how blocks develop. So I liked what I saw from him. And with Roschon getting injured, I do think Monangai has kind of become that clear second guy behind DeAndre Swift right now. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of Chicago Bears Now. A little bit of news and some training camp battle updates as we get closer and closer to the real shebang. 4 weeks from today, the Bears will open up against the Minnesota Vikings. But a lot of stuff between then, couple of preseason games, joint practice on Friday. We'll continue to have you guys covered with everything Bears on a daily basis, so don't forget to subscribe.